Welcome back to my channel for my October and Q4 plan with me. I cannot believe it's already October and we're looking at the last 3 months of the year. So let's get started. This month I wanted to do a really fun theme because it's my birthday month and I've been collecting different stickers in preparation for this, and I settled on doing a coffee theme. I put some extra pages this month since this is my quarterly setup. And this will actually be the last month in this bullet journal. It actually started with October 2023 and will end with October 2024. So November and December will be in my journal for 2025. So here is a collection of a bunch of stickers that I've had in the last year or so. Some from like Leela journals, Artimation, and I bought a few things from Notebook Therapy. I think this is from their Hinoki collection. So they have these really cute espresso coffee stickers. Coffee stains, coffee prices, quotes, words, phrases. If you've seen my previous videos, I've shown espresso machine, making coffee. I love checking out coffee shops, so I thought this was like perfect for my favorite month. Another thing I also bought was this Light Academia collection, which is full of 4 washi tapes. This first one has a little stickers on the tape, including the days of the week. It is more focused on academia than just coffee, but you'll see that there's like coffee sprinkled around everywhere, like on this second washi tape with the music. You have all these like book stamps and mirrors and stuff. It also gives you that like cozy fall vibes that we are all very desperate to have, especially me, because it is still like 100 degrees where I live and I'm tired of it and I want to be cold and wear sweatshirts. This other one has text and coffee stains and coffee rings. This one has a bunch of art, clip art images on it, and it also includes coffee along with other things. So I thought this was a really good fit for this month and things that I can also continue to use. The Light Academia set also comes with 2 sticker sheets, and I like that they have like shiny gold on them and they tie in with the rest of it. This is something that I bought from Journal Say. I have a quick short where I did a quick haul and unboxing of these products, and this was also in there. So it's a bunch of scrapbook paper about living in like an urban European city. Since I just traveled to Europe in the summer, that's why I bought this, but I knew I could use it for other things. And so you'll see there's like cafe scenes, coffee shops, restaurants, busy streets. And so I thought I could actually use one of these images as like the main image on my cover page. I really like that they're like these quick illustrations that you see people do when they're traveling. Something I actually really want to do in my own journal. I am just not that skilled at it and haven't dedicated time to practicing. But in the meantime, I can at least use these in some of my travel journal spreads when I finally get that journal together. So I used a bunch of different materials in this setup. So for this first part, I wanted to color some paper into different shades of brown using those Prismacolors. I found that using these alcohol-based markers was the best way to quickly color the piece of paper and also make sure it's even, whereas using something that's water-based like Crayola or Tombow definitely leads to streaking. So I cut the paper in a few different ways. These are all different scrap pieces of paper that I've had from like cutting stuff out of my journal and things like that. So for some of them I ripped the edges, and the other ones I trimmed the corners to give it that unique border, and it's really easy to do and I like how fancy it looks. The other thing I also did was kind of create my own grid paper with a color from my color palette. You'll see I'm testing out to see which one I wanted. So I took this light peach color. I think it's Opal in Tombow. I actually saw this from Delphine's journal on Instagram, and she makes her own grid paper, which is like crazy to me. But I tried it for myself in September using one of the colors from that palette, and I really liked the way it looked. So I think this is something I'm going to try to do sometimes moving forward when you want that look. And yes, while I'm using a ruler, you can see that like there's some stray edges, things aren't totally filled in, and that's intentional, just so it looks a little more organic and not super perfect. So I settled on these two images, one which is this cafe sitting outdoors, and the other one is like a larger bistro cafe restaurant type thing. I settled on the more casual cafe with the orange chairs outside. I'm also using some materials that I've collected from packaging, since it's also in this brown theme and it's craft paper. And then I'm just kind of figuring out my layout and how I want things to overlap in this collaging method. I've been really into kind of this like layering collage effect that I've been seeing more and more lately. I just like how clean it looks. You can just kind of throw things together and they look really cool and nice together. Usually there's something unifying it, whether it's like the theme, the topic, color palette, textures. So I actually think this is an easier way maybe to decorate your bullet journal if you want to decorate it, as opposed to doodling everything out. And I really like how this looked. I chose one of the more translucent papers since you can see the different browns underneath it. I also, of course, decided to use this glue stick that's like running out. I actually ended up throwing it out partway through this video. It was just really old, dried up, and it was like towards the end of it. I do think I have more glue sticks, so I can go ahead and use that, but I'm also using my glue pen that's also from Tombow. And then I brought my stickers back to add more accents to this page and more elements. I have so much coffee stuff, so like this was the time to use it. Also, I'm sorry if some of the footage is a little blurry. Of course, I didn't notice that until I started editing. I think my focus was slightly off on my camera and I was trying a different setup. And then to write out the header for October, I picked up my trusty alphabet stamps. And for the brown ink, I just used one of my Tombow pens. I've seen Aaron Smith Art use this, and I think it's a really great way to use different colors, but not having to buy like 20 different stamp pads. And I'm going to be using the alphabet stamps throughout all my spreads. I think it really lends itself to the cozy, coffee, literature-y vibes. I think the Chemex is like one of the only coffee tools that I actually don't have. And then I took the stencil that I got from the Archer and Olive Advent calendar, I think in 2022. It had these really nice star stencils, so I used those to kind of create those starbursts. Just adding some more gold accents with a gold gel pen since it matches some of the stickers that have that gold detailing. So that's it for my cover. I really like how it turned out. And then I'm moving on to my other spread, which on this left side, instead of a usual calendar, I'm making this my reflections page. As I mentioned, October is my birthday month, so I'll be turning another year older. And so I wrote year 33 reflections just to kind of think about what's happened in this past year and where I want to go. So I took this notepad that I got from Journal Say. It's actually, I think, supposed to be like a reading log, but I wanted to turn it into a little menu board. I think I saw this on one of Mochi Bujo's Plan With Me videos. I think she actually used this exact sticker set, which I did not realize until later. Then just adding some of my favorite drinks. And then I took this gold washi tape that I'm almost out of. I actually finished it in the spread. I think it's like the second washi tape I've ever finished, which is somehow really satisfying, even though I'm out of it, and I really like that tape. Just decorate the menu page so it looks like I taped it in with that tape. Just adding a few more washi tapes just to finish it off, and then we'll move on to the next spread. And this will be my calendar, my habits, and my Q3 check-in. So normally I set this up for the whole quarter, but because for November and December I will be in a new journal, I thought I would just do the check-in here and then only track habits for October, because otherwise I'd be going back and forth between two journals, which is not ideal. I also wanted the calendar to be larger this year instead of that horizontal calendar I usually put next to the cover page, since October is a busy month with different fall activities, Halloween, birthday stuff, and so I just needed more space to write that out, and it's also nicer to see it on like a big calendar to see this busy month. So I'm using some of the Notebook Therapy Light Academia stickers, and since they had these days of the week, I thought it'd be perfect for the calendar. As you can see, I'm trying to avoid using my own handwriting as much as I can this month. I've just been really tired of my handwriting, things looking the same, so it's a really good opportunity to use my stamps and stickers. So I took my alphabet stamps, which also have numbers, and stamped in the dates for the calendar. You'll see I kind of messed up on the 11th. I got confused on what day I was on, so I need to go in later with a white gel pen and try to erase that out. And this was actually pretty easy to set up since I didn't have to do too much handwriting. So back on the left side at the top is my Q3 check-in. So I'm gonna score my goals and to see like where I've kind of progressed on them, and then also decide if I want to drop them, keep them, or improve them. And then below that will be my Q4 goals, and I usually break these out into different categories so I can see what I want to focus on this quarter. I will say I think Q3 is probably going to get a low score just because I didn't do a lot of those. The summer was really hectic with work, just took up a lot of my energy and time, and then I went on vacation, so that also took a lot in prepping, going, recovering. So I didn't necessarily do the best, but that's okay because I still have Q4 and there's always room to improve. And then I drew out the 3 boxes for my habits. I've been tracking these 3 habits consistently, I think for the last year and a half, which is skincare, moving around, and reading. And I actually have to admit, I think it's been helping. I've gotten much more into regularly reading throughout this year. I've already surpassed my reading goal of 24 books. I literally listened to finish up one audiobook while I was putting these pages together, and then I finished another audiobook while it's editing. So really excited to just be on another reading binge again. And skincare has significantly been more consistent this year. So I think just tracking a few key goals that I really want to focus on, key habits, is more helpful for me. Sometimes I see people tracking like 10 or more habits, and that's like too much for me. Like I don't want to come back and look at all those blank squares. And it's a lot to keep track of. I feel like it's better when I focus on a few key things versus spreading myself thin on multiple stuff. So I took some more craft packaging paper and stamped out Q3 check-in. I'm going to stick that in to the journal. And then of course I'm coming back with my coffee stickers. I have so many, like especially the latte ones and the espresso ones I think are my favorite. I love lattes, that's my drink of choice. And I really like using my espresso machine. Kind of makes me feel like a mad scientist or something, like I'm doing this like fancy process even though I don't really know what I'm doing and I'm not amazing at it. And then I added some stickers and a little quote sticker from that phrase one where it says coffee o'clock. Some of them are kind of generic and random. They kind of remind me of Daiso captions, which are like, I don't know if they're written in English and then translated into Chinese. And I'm not sure if it's like Mandarin or Cantonese. Sorry, not Chinese, Japanese because it's Daiso. And then translated back into English. Like it's very poorly done or it's AI or something. But that's what some of these remind me of, but they're a little better for sure. So I'm adding more sparkles. This is just a good way to fill up some empty space with a little of these gold embellishments. Try not to add too many because I don't want to take away from the page, and there's going to be a bunch of words on this page anyway, so I'm not trying to totally fill it up. This gold pen I'm also realizing is not great. A lot of the supplies I have are just from various things that I've collected over the years, my sister has, and so some of them are old and I think things are starting to dry up, like the glue stick or this pen. But I want to keep trying to use what I have versus constantly buying new things, even though I did just place an order for some stickers and I will be getting those in a couple weeks. But generally I try not to buy too much stuff. And then on my habit trackers, I'm just browning out the few squares that don't apply to the month of October, just so then I can keep track and make sure I'm on the right day of the month when I'm going in and crossing it off. I'm also using my stamps again. You'll see the stamps over and over here, and stamping in Q4 check-in, or gold, not check-in, because this hasn't happened yet. And you'll see I divided my Q3 into like health, wellness, and hobbies. So I'll probably be doing that for Q4 as well, or maybe one of them will be career instead or professional. Okay, these next spreads are my fall bucket list and fall memories. So I've done like a little bucket list in the past before for like spring and fall. I just think they're cute. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get to it. Usually the fall ones I do just because there are always activities I've been doing every year or in the last few years. And then this memories one, I was actually inspired by Anna Bruns on YouTube, and she made a little fall memories spread where she can go ahead and paste in pictures, and I thought that was really cute, and I was thinking of doing something like that anyway, but I like the way she did it. So that layout is heavily borrowed from her, so definitely also check out her channel and all the folks that I've mentioned in this video. So I'm starting out with the fall bucket list spread and stamping that out, added some washi tape. I'm actually going to be using a mixture of clip art and stickers to help illustrate some of the bucket list items. And then finally I had to use for like these acorns because it's fall. I'm excited that this year I feel like I've managed to find creative ways to use some of my stickers that I haven't figured out how to use before. And so I'm actually finishing up my sheets, which is super exciting. And so here you'll see some of the clip art that I printed out. Some of it's a mix from Pinterest and from Canva. And so I'm gluing them in to the sections. And you'll see that I'm using recycled paper that I have at home to print this stuff, since it is extra and like I'd rather repurpose paper versus using new one right away. And there were a couple pieces of clip art left over just because I didn't have space for them. I wanted to use a mix of stickers and the art. And so you'll see some of my fun goals are like to drink fall coffee drinks and fall treats, go to the pumpkin patch, watch It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. I love all the Charlie Brown holiday specials. They're super cute and they're like such a part of my childhood, and I love watching them every year. Curl up with a cozy book. I'm actually going to be having a spread you'll see later on for like cozy fall books. I think I'm just so sick of summer and the heat that I am ready to be delusional and just make fall happen. Even though like today it is 92 degrees, which actually feels cooler. I never thought I'd be saying that. Some of the other things are to go trick-or-treating, carve pumpkins, have a cozy movie night. And these are all things that we've done in the last few years, especially with my niece and nephew. They're now like preschool, elementary school age, so they're a little bigger and can enjoy all this stuff even more. So it's just nice to get together and do these things. And I genuinely love fall activities. Like, this is my season, so I'm for sure excited. And then on the other side, I'm doing fall memories. You'll see that I stamped the A upside down. But that's okay, you just start over and it totally wasn't a big deal. Adding some more stickers of like leaves, and then I was trying to figure out what sticker would fit there, and I finally got to use this little scarf one. It's really exciting. I also added more like acorn, coffee, or actually tea on to the bucket list page just to fill up some of that white space, because I think this could have been a half spread if I had really thought about it. But I also kind of like how spaced out it is. This bucket list page layout was also inspired by the way Anna did it, but she also has a nicer handwriting than me and like cuter illustrations. So I actually trimmed this piece of paper down to the Instax Polaroid size, and I'm going to glue in a few pictures. They likely won't actually be Polaroids just because I'm like almost out of film. I don't use it too often, and now when I do, they get used up really quickly by my niece and nephew. It'll probably be just some pictures that I've taken on my phone. I'm also hoping to use a film camera again. I just got a new to me but old camera from my uncle as he was like cleaning out a lot of his camera equipment. So I'm hoping to get some film and use that throughout this month to get some pictures. Okay, moving on to these next pages, which is all about books and reading. And first one that we're focusing on is the books I read spread. So these are the books that I'm going to note down that I read in the month of October. This is like a new page that I started adding a couple months in, I think actually halfway through the year, like in July. And then of course when I added them in the summer, I wasn't reading that much, but now I've like, I don't know, I'm like going through all of my holds and loans through Libby, actually reading everything. So maybe I'll actually fill out all of these squares that I put in here. Adding some of these really pretty gold detailed stickers because I wanted to use the nicer stickers for the books pages, even though they're all nice. And I took some of the grid paper that I had traced out and I'm actually creating more book lists. So on this right side, the top half is going to be my work reading challenge. So we're currently having a reading challenge for fall where we all set reading goals of how many books we want to read in. So it started in the month of September and ends in October. So those 2 months, like how many books we read, how many pages, things like that. We're going to keep track of that and you get points based on that. It's pretty open-ended. And so I can kind of double dip with my book goals, books I read in the month, and this reading challenge. I actually met my reading challenge goal, I think by the time I finished the audiobook I was listening to. So my goal was 4 books. So I was thinking like 2 books a month. I really flew through a few books. So I'm hoping I can continue to add to that list until the end of October. This is pretty fun. We also have like a group chat just to talk about books, like what we're reading, what we recommend to other folks. Oh yeah, and you can also leave short reviews if you think it's a book other people would be interested in reading. So I've written a few of those and they're like 50 words or under. And so maybe if I decide it's not overwhelming, I might do that next year for the books I've read. And so I read like a random mix of books so far in September. Some mysteries, YA, dystopia, romance, and thrillers. So I had actually watched the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes on the plane, and I really enjoyed the movie. Like I like that it wasn't some lazy sequel, and I really wanted to read the book just to get more of that world building. I'm excited for the next one to come out too. So I think that still counts because I did read it. And then this bottom section is cozy fall books. So I've seen a bunch of recommendations on the Clock app about some fun, easy books to read throughout this month to really set like that autumn tone. And a couple of these are books that I've had on hold for a while and they're finally going to come through. So I really wanted to try to prioritize those. So maybe October will have some repeats on the other side. And the nice part is that I already have that file saved in my slides, so I can just go ahead and reprint those out. Okay, and finally we are here at my weekly spreads. So I decided to do Dutch doors again. I was originally going to put in craft paper similar to my August 2022 spreads, but it felt really repetitive and I didn't want to make this journal even thicker and use up all my craft paper because I am starting to run out from that notepad. So I just kept it like usual white and I'll just add in lines. And so on this left side where we haven't cut out because it's like the anchor page basically, is I'll put in my tasks for the month that I want to get done at some point and things to buy. This can be anything, like random stuff I've thought of, things I need to refill, replace, someone's birthday in that month, things like that. And then I went in and stamped the numbers for each of the dates, just so it stayed consistent with how I did it in my calendar. I took this Takti tape where it has the days of the week written out and used those in my journal. Again, so then I didn't have to handwrite anything. I thought about printing stuff, but I couldn't decide what kind of font I wanted, so it's like, let's just use what I have. I actually ended up finishing the big one like a month or two ago, and so I have this smaller one here. I also have them in black. And then you'll see my other weeks I went ahead and set up. And this last week, the last 2 weeks, is actually how I intended to set up this journal. I wanted to put one full week on one side, but I forgot what I was doing. So when I was like stamping things off camera, I accidentally made both sides the full week instead of, spanning across 2 weeks. So the last one I just kind of squished in. It's fine, like it wasn't what I had originally envisioned, but I think it still gets the job done and I didn't have to worry about running out of pages. So I added in more light academia washi tape, focusing on things that really showed like coffee and books and stuff. Since I did have a lot of book content, even though this isn't a reading book theme, I still had a bunch of those stickers left that had different coffee types and prices. So I decided to make a menu again on this side. And so that'll be on the right side, kind of that anchor last page. And then I went ahead and added these coffee ring coffee stain stickers. I lost them when I was making these, and that's why I didn't include them on the other pages. I forgot it existed, and luckily I found it on the last day because I spread out my recording over 3 days. I went ahead and actually added them off camera to some of the other pages. Then I had some remaining scraps of my colored paper, my grid paper, so I just glued it in here for that continued collage effect. Also, this video actually ended up being pretty long. It took me a while to set everything up. So I really hope you enjoyed this jam-packed, super-sized plan with me video. This will be the last one for 2024 since I record them on a quarterly basis, but I will still continue to have some more bullet journal content for this year and of course my 2025 setup. And that's it. This is my October and quarterly pages. I love how everything turned out. I never thought I'd be that book clip art person, but I actually really like them. These are my weeklies, and you'll see some additional stickers I put in off camera. Please drop a coffee tea mug if you made it through this video and you liked what you saw. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll chat with you next time. Bye!